All right, all right. I want to give all glory and praises unto those holy and powerful names of Yahawah, being the Father, and Yahawashi, being his only begotten Son, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, and Barakatah Yahawashi. All glory and praise be unto those holy and powerful names, Yahawah being the Father, and Yahawashi being his only begotten Son. This is Brother Malachi coming at you again through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi, coming in the way of the Bashim Kakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit of truth. And this is going to be another, Lord willing, quick lesson, but we never know. Might get lengthy. But regardless, I wanted to, kind of land back through the Spirit on Apostles Tahar's video. We're going to play a little bit of his video and get some points and let him speak for a little second here, and then we're gonna get some precepts, man, because ultimately, we're in the last days, man, and the Lord told us to be a watchman unto the house of Israel. It's our job, it's our duty to go into these precepts and go into this the current events and pair it up with the scriptures to show to you that the words of the Lord Yahawah are faithful and true, and that the Lord Yahawah is going to deliver his elect, his remnant, all right, and those that believe and that call upon his name. All right. But nonetheless, like I said before, we are the watchmen, so we are to constantly be on our watch to make informed videos and epistles, spiritual epistles such as this, and let the flock, which is the sheep, the scriptures speak about that, know of the return of the Lord Yahawashi, and kind of step by step break down what's going on in the earth via the scriptures, man, because everything that is happening and that is going to happen, is already everything's already written. Okay, and and within that is a victory for the hopeful elect. Okay, because the Lord Yahawashi already declared the end from the beginning. Okay, and we also are doing the same thing. We also are declaring the end. All right, and we're declaring the end of what? The end of Esau, the end of this kingdom, the end of this age. All right, we are leaving the world. Okay, the age, the aeon. Okay, because there's three words, the three Greek words, definitions for that word, world. Okay, you got aeon, okiminte. Let me see. You got aeon, okiminte, and then you have cosmos, I believe, which goes into a set arrangement or pertaining to, and it pertains to Israel. Lord willing, I didn't butcher that, but nonetheless, let me declare the end from the beginning. Clear the end. Let's see here, Salakia. This ain't it. Clearing the end. Maybe I gotta spell it directly. Here we go. I believe this is it right here. This is Isaiah 46 and 10. I'm gonna start at in verse 9. So let's start at Isaiah 46 and 9. It says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else beside me." So there is no other powers, okay, outside of Yahawah and Yahawashi. Okay, Yahawah being the Father, Yahawashi being his only begotten Son. Okay, and then we got Esau, Edom, okay, who's been given rulership of the earth in these last days to fulfill biblical prophecy. He is operating on the left-hand side of Yahawashi. So he is operating via Satan. Okay, the physical counterpart of Satan on the earth today is Esau, Edom. And the women and the children. All right, nobody's exempt. Nobody's like, oh, okay, the kids are no. If you're an Edomite and you go back to Esau, then you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be destroyed. Okay. And this was already declared. The end of Esau was already declared from the beginning. Okay, and we're just reading about it. Okay, through the Spirit. This is the scriptures. This is the script. Okay, you can liken this unto a movie. Everybody's an actor. Everyone has their part to play, and we, Lord willing, to have the righteous part to play. Okay, Esau Edom has the antagonist part to play, and he's been playing that part to a T. But now his time of playing that part has come to an end. Okay, the scriptures speak about how he has bounds in which he cannot pass when you go into Job, the 14th chapter. Okay, so Esau, he's on a ticking time clock, and we're entering into the age in which he is finna be put down. Okay, and so we're entering into a time of a very tumultuous and a failing, dwindling, decaying kingdom. Okay, you got to see that's where we are. All right, and Esau is finna crash out. All right, because he know if he have but a short time when you go into Revelation 12 and 12. Okay, because we're speaking about Esau's end. Okay, and the ultimate end for him is ultimately nuclear destruction for Babylon the Great. Okay, and then also as well is a captivity when you go into, Revelations, you go into Jeremiah the 30th chapter. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity when you go into Revelation 13 and 9, going to 10. Okay, so the Most High Yahawashi is not mocked, but we, are here to declare the prophecies of the Lord Yahawashi, and within that we get a victory. Okay, it says declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times things that were not yet done, saying, my counsel shall be done. It says, and I shall do my pleasure. Okay, let me see here. Khan. And we know that the Lord Yahawashi, word is not going to come back to him void. So it's within the Lord's word that this kingdom fall, because this kingdom that we're currently living in is the Roman Empire revived all over again, Roman 2.0. And according to Most High Yahawashi, when you get the true understanding of these scriptures, this place is finished. This place is done. This place has been from the beginning, from the foundations of the earth, was written. It was going to be destroyed. So we're in the pocket of time where we're seeing, like I say, the decay and the dwindling of this kingdom. All right, so let me see. Here, go back. We'll let the Apostle Tahar speak, and I'm gonna let him speak a little bit, and then I'm gonna get some respective precepts. I'm not gonna let him, speak the whole time. But this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for them." What vision? These prophecies. The things that are to come up, the short to come upon the earth, is yet for an appointed time. So it's not time for Esau to go down right now, but we're in the midst of his kingdom decaying, dwindling, and them coming down with great wrath and bringing forth that MOTB infrastructure, coming down and bringing forth that the MOTB, but they got to do away with the financial system, because the MOTB is going to be the new way. It's going to be the new wave, okay? Scriptures say either yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and is speaking, and these prophecies are speaking, and guess what? We're also speaking as well. All right, we're letting you know side by side. Hey, this is the confirmation. These are the words of the Lord Yahawashi. These actions and these prophecies and these things that are taking place in the earth are done, and the one responsible is none other than Yahawashi. This is what we're here to tell you. This is what the watchmen are here to tell you. What our job is to do. Break down these scriptures and let you know what's going on, man. So that you can be in a spirit of preparing yourself and heeding the warning that, Yahawashi ain't playing around. And we got to constantly be in that spirit of fear. Fearing the Lord, it's the beginning of wisdom. We got to fear Yahawashi, man. And, we come to some terrible times, man. We got to fear the Lord Yahawashi, and Lord wouldn't be on his good side, It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we're waiting for these prophecies. And as we see, we're seeing pestilence. Now I'm finna play certain things. We had COVID. Now it seems that we're gonna have some type of a new pandemic. Seems to be springing up. Because the way they're speaking about this one in the news is just a little bit different. This hantavirus situation could be that false flag, along with the war, the escalating tensions between, we still got the wars of, Iran and Babylon and Israel. We still got that going on. We still got the Russians and the Ukrainian conflict going on. It's kind of swept under the rug, but that's still happening, and all the other global conflicts that are going on, across the world that Esau Edom is in the midst of, being the hammer of the earth. Okay, so let's play a little bit of what he got to say, and then we'll get some precepts, because if they bring forth a new pandemic, that's gonna that if they usher in a new pandemic via the hantavirus, via then that's gonna be it. There ain't gonna be if they bring forth another pandemic, if they bring forth another lockdown, that's it. They're not gonna unlock this bitch. It's gonna be locked. They're gonna fully, I believe, they're gonna fully push forward with the MOTB system, especially if they go forward with another lockdown. I don't believe Babylon the Great and businesses and these people can honestly, through the spirit, survive another lockdown. If they like businesses and things of that nature, they go out of business, they run out of money, they run out of loans and all that stuff. Like, a lot of people lost their shit during the pandemic, and now it seems to be that there's going to be another one, and there is going to be another one. There is going to be something. Esau is going to create some type of, whether it be the hantavirus or whether it be something else. I remember through the spirit power Yahawashi, I can recall they were talking about the monkeypox, and now they don't even talk about that no more. So this could be a situation where they don't even speak about this in a couple of 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of blows over. Or this could be the new thing. This could be the next Pandeezy, and this could bring forth the MOTB. This could bring forth the central bank digital currencies. This could bring forth all the oligarchy, dark, wicked plans of the echelon elites that they want to bring forth. Ultimately, it's the MOTB, okay, which is going to be, everyone's going to be chipped in your forehead or in your head. You got the brain chip. RFID chip technology is here, okay. So let's play a little bit of this, and we're gonna get some respective precepts. Now, this might be a longer video.
Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to Yahawah, Shalom, Shalom to 144,000 rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all.
Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna skip around in here and try to get to the point, Lord willing.
Requirements in public spaces, suspension of high-risk activities at a national scale from June onward, according to their math models. You would have broad international lockdowns that are not similar to what we experienced in America.
Let's go back.
And right now we're looking at a world war, crop problems, supply issues, food problems, a hantavirus plague.
Now, I want to bring this out, let Apostle, go into his spiel, but I also want to bring out to just as you I'm gonna play it back a little bit, but you can hear him saying and speaking about the particular crises that are going on, and I listed some of them, but I didn't list all of them. But there's a lot of shit going on, and a lot of crises going on that's going to lead, like I say, all this is going to lead to the MOTB. But ultimately, a lot of crises are going on right now, and it's looking bad. It's going and things are going to continue to intensify and get worse for Babylon, get worse for the inhabitants of this place, because the Most High Yahawashi is done with this place. This place is finished. All right, so we here being the Lord willing, the hopeful elect, all we here to do is wait and have patience and continue to be watchmen and continue to report. Okay, report on the things that's going on in the earth, okay, that we're seeing and connected via biblical prophecy, okay. But yes, things are dwindling, things are decaying, things are getting way worse, okay, especially for the people. All right.
Potential. And the discussion that the White House is opening up alien information to everybody. Again,
like he said before, like he's just said, they're disclosing, which I thought they already disclosed I remember when they were like a year ago or so, they came up and they opened up about the UFO situation, and explained that they are real, and they are seeing them, and we don't know what they are. They said, we know what they are according to the spirit, according to the scriptures, but I guess I don't know. I know they did that like a year ago, so I guess they're unreleasing some more documents going to the UFOs, and we understand the UFOs, according to the scriptures, is the vehicles of Yahawashi, the vehicles of ultimately of salvation. Okay, let me get a precept. Let me get this precept. This is Isaiah. Now, there's pretty precepts, and I'm really just trying to hit the points and not make this video too long. But hey, it might end up still being long, but I don't wanna stay on one thing too long. I'm just trying to through the spirit. Now it says Isaiah 26:20 says, "Come, my people." Who are the Lord's people? The Lord's people are the Israelites, man, consisting of your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and so-called Mexicans, which makes up the house of the 12 tribes of Israel, Salakia. Okay, and we need to return unto the Lord Yahawashi now Shai and call upon the name of Yahawah being the Father and Yahawashi being his only begotten Son. Okay, because it has been declared that this place is finished, man. The Lord Yahawashi now Shai has enmity with the inhabitants of Babylon, the Great, aka America, because of the abominations and the filth, okay, and the harlotry and the wickedness and the witchcraft and all that be done here, okay, and also this place has touched the apple of the Lord's eye, okay. This place and these individuals, okay, which are these Edomites, okay, that's the nation and rulership of Babylon the Great and the earth right now. They came up and afflicted. When you go into Ezekiel the 35th chapter, they had perpetual hatred for our people, and they still have that same hatred, okay. But real quick, going into this Isaiah 20, the rest of this, it says, "Come, my people, and enter into thy chambers." What is this talking about? This is a future prophecy of the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushai getting beamed up into the heavens, okay, to escape the destruction, okay, from on high. All right, because that's what's finna be brought. Okay, the Lord is finna allow Esau the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is finna allow Esau, who's been blessed with the sword, to be let loose, because he's at the end of his kingdom, and he's finna crash out. So he's finna crash out, and he's finna take as many niggas and everybody, whoever he can get with him. All right, but who he ain't gonna get is the hopeful elect. Now, but he is gonna crash out, and he's gonna kill, and with that sword, he's gonna take. Hey, these two-third niggas, they gonna catch it, and Esau's gonna be that sword. They gonna that's gonna be used for punishment, for judgment. Okay, not only that, is the other 2/3 gonna destroy themselves, and everybody else is gonna be caught up in the midst of that, outside of the elect, here in Babylon the Great. Now, it says, "Enter into thy chambers." We know the chambers is speaking about the chariots. It says, "Shut thy doors about thee and hide thyself." Let me get this precept, because this is what we're gonna do. This is a chariot precept, okay. And there's other precepts, of course, Zechariah 5:1, flying roll, roughly paraphrasing. But these are the vehicles, okay. This is the so-called UFOs that they're talking about. Real quick, I might have to make a different lesson on this, but regardless, is hide thyself, if it were a little moment, until the indignation be past. And this is the time that we're coming into, and then we're finna let the video keep playing. It says, for behold, the Lord Yahawashi. It's like it says, for behold, the Lord Yahawah cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants. Okay, and it's not the Lord Yahawashi coming back to do vengeance and to deliver and to kill those who are against him. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, and he's also coming back on that fathership. You can get a precept when you can get a precept to this verse 20. You can get First Revelations 1 and they're saying with the UFOs. This is with the chariots of the Lord. These are heavenly angelic vehicles outside of the realm of this world, which means that Esau don't got nothing on these chariots. They can't fuck with them. They're gonna lose. Okay. Now it says here in Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And this is gonna be able to be done because the chariots, when the Lord Yahawah touches it down again, second coming, the chariot that he's going to be upon is going to be so large and so big and so massive that it's going to take up the heavens. It's going to take up the sky. And so that's how every eye shall see him. Okay. And they're going to wail because of him. All right. Because that means, because when the Lord comes back, everyone's going to mourn and wait, and they're going to be bugged out because honestly, I mean, the Lord Yahawashi is for our people. It's for the Israelites. Okay. And then everyone else that's outside of the nation of Israel, that's not of our people, they're going to be destroyed. And they're going to be put in slavery. So they're going to be mourning. It's over. All right? Yahawashi is going to touch back down. And everyone's going to see him. And everyone's going to see that Yahawashi looks like us. Yahawashi looks like us. He looks like a nigga, so-called, right? A byword, a proverb. Huh? Like the curses said that we were going to be called. Right? So every eye shall see him. Every eye is going to see that he is a very melanated, dark-skinned brother. You know? It says, and every eye shall see him. And also they which pierced him. And all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. All right? Because it's time. The time for the bullshit is at an end. It's time for judgment now. You understand? Now let's go back here.
We're living in a lot of coincidence, aren't we? All right, let's see. We've got caveats and recommendations that we discussed. The percentage chance of activity, we went over that a little bit. Let me get down to the phased response recommendation by the virologist. In the immediate phase, late May 2026, upon the first confirmed clusters, so again, around May 21st. When the clusters are confirmed, the government would have to push for strict isolation of suspected cases. A 35-day quarantine for all close contacts of those 35 cases. And targeted...
And real quick, the reason I think this may be it, the hantavirus, is because of how... One, they're kind of showing it on the news, but I speak as a man, I could be wrong, but as well as the incubating period of when you get affected and what they got to do when you get affected. It's the same thing as the pandemic. It's the same thing as the COVID. If you even if they even think you got it, they got to monitor you for like at least it seems like up to like 2 to 3 months. You know, so imagine this gets out and it starts to get infectious, quote unquote. They'll lock this bitch down.
Here we go again. This time it's going to be worse. And we know what's really going on. We know it's really good.
Travel restrictions from all regional areas. Escalating that into June, if we're talking about Black Death level.
Bubonic plague, bubonic pneumonic plague.
You would have regional lockdowns, stay-at-home orders, closures of schools, non-essential business closures, concert closures, and large indoor gatherings.
Put the mask on again. Get on them long-ass lines to go into Targets. I went into Targets every fucking day. Got on the fucking long-ass line to get in, then get on a long-ass line to cash out.
Other enclosures. Mask mandates, improved ventilation requirements in public spaces, suspension of high-risk activities.
All them gyms, I just got a membership at a gym. They're going to close the gym down. They're going to close the gym down. You know how many gyms went out of business? You know how many businesses went out of business over that thing? You're talking 5 years ago?
At a national scale from June onward, according to their math models.
Right. I'm gonna play a little bit the rest of that, but I mean, the Lord said that these things were going to happen. All right, we got. I mean, let's get Matthew 24. This is Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, jumping off the page. You can't tell me it's not. You know. So let's get this, because this is exactly where we are right now. Going into the pestilences and the wars of everything. You heard him speak prior. Now this is Matthew 24:6. It says, and you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. We're seeing that. You know, we're in a war right now, but they're saying, oh no, we're in peace talks, and then the very next second, oh, we're bombing, and the next second, oh, we're back in peace talks, and we're trying to figure it out. Man, they ain't figuring out nothing. The only thing that's going to be figured out is more escalation, more escalation towards a war, bro. That's all. It just though it seems like it's gonna cool down. It might cool down. It might cool down, maybe. You know, if the Lord wants it to. But for right now, it don't seem like it's finna cool down. You know what I'm saying? But even if it did cool down, it doesn't matter, because it's prophecy that world war is gonna spike. All right, so it let's say hypothetically it did cool down. Then the Lord Yahawashi will cause something. He'll throw a damn bee. He'll fucking hit the fucking hornet's nest with a bat, and it's gonna create a situation. It's gonna okay, because prophecy is gonna be fulfilled regardless. So whether it's slow down or not, it don't matter, man. But we're gonna continue to report on these things. Now it says, and ye shall hear of wars, and we're seeing that, and rumors, we're seeing that as well, of wars, and see ye not be troubled. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. All right, we got race riots. That's gonna come into fruition. One nation against another. Like I say, race riots. Kingdom against kingdom. That's going into war. And there shall be famine. And this is where we are. This is where I believe that we're entering into, as things fail, and as the Strait of Hormuz and that war over there is impacting the economy here, because I believe they say that strait is responsible for like 60% of the oil in the world, roughly paraphrase. It's paramount. Very important. So let me chat GBT this shit, Let me chat GBT something real quick and see how important like that strait is, because I'm sure I know it's important, but I want to pick ChatGPT's brain real quick. How does the Strait of Hormuz being closed affect food and crops? You guess how you gotta do it. Crops in America. Let's see what it says. Because let me see. It says here, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a vital global shipping route, and there's also some other straits that are closed too, but I forget what they're called. I'll have to do some more research, but ultimately, it's not looking good for Babylon. It says the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a vital global shipping route of oil and fertilizer. That's what it is, oil and fertilizer. So you need oil and fertilizer to grow food. You need oil for all types of things, not just gas. Just a whole lot of stuff takes oil, So if we continue to go forward like this, then of course war is gonna happen, and the squeeze of the people is going to happen as well. All right, and this can very well lead to famine, through the spirit. Now, famine's gonna happen regardless, but It's what's gonna cause it. Either way, people gonna be hungry. You know, but the men of the Lord willing, we ain't gonna be hungry. You know, Lord willing. Now, Salakia, give me 1 second here. Now, it says has created cascading effects on the U.S. agriculture, food prices, and crop production. How it's playing out. I'm just trying to get to the point. And shit, I speak as a man. Shit, gas over here is $4. I ain't never seen gas $4. Never in my life, I don't think. So, shit, new things are finna come. New things that we haven't seen, you know, or not that familiar to us, are finna come upon there, or finna happen. Like, you know, shit, I mean, eggs, food being overly expensive, hyperinflation, can't afford it. You know, it's getting bad. It says, I'm gonna read the summary. It says, in summary, the closure main effects to U.S. and food crops are fertilization cost spikes, thinner farm margins, and the farmers are already through. It says cropping shifts, more soybeans, less corn. It says raising food and fuel prices, eventually inflation for the consumers, and that's what we're seeing. If the blockade persists into summers, which it seems like they might just happen, you know, and this is good because this is what Esau wants. Esau wants a crash of the global food and supply chain. Because guess what? He's finna just bring forth the MOTB, you know? So ultimately, as things get worse in Babylon the Great, this is what the elites want so they can crash the system and bring forth a new system. This is exactly what they want, you know? And that's going to be that MOTB. That's going to be that mark of the beast technology that we've been warning you about, that the men of the Lord have been warning you about. It says, if the blockade persists into summer, experts warn the U.S. could tighten crop supplies and higher food inflation lasting through the 2026 harvest. Yeah. That's cool. Or whatever. And it's not, I mean, I guess you say it's not cool, but that's bad for Babylon, which is good for us.
You would have broad
It's June. Ain't no microchip. I had to say
international.
Let me say this. Let me provide some type of that balance, because there is famine. Famine is gonna come upon the earth. You know, things of that nature. Shit finna get bad. But there's balance. So let me get a precept and read the rest of this. It says, read verse 7 again. It says, for the nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And said, and there should be famines and pestilences. All right. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the sicknesses. We're seeing hantavirus. We're seeing COVID, you know. But I say whatever they're gonna release out here this time is really gonna make people drop. That's what I think through the spirit, you know, because these 2/3 niggas, they gotta go, and these Edomites, they gotta go. They gotta go. A lot of people gotta go to the spirit world. A lot of people gotta die. A lot of judgment is finna be brought forth, you know. So, you know, we got people through the spirit that took the J, that took the jump shot, that took the Novid Maxine, and they still walking around with damn devil juice in their system. So who knows how Esau Edom is gonna activate that, you know, and that's gonna lead to their death, you know, ultimately, you know, pestilences and things of that nature. Now we got the hantavirus. So we'll see. We'll monitor the situation. We'll monitor the story and see how it unfolds and what happens. But regardless, whether it be the hantavirus, it's gonna be some false flag that's gonna lead to these prophecies coming to pass. There's going to be people that are going to get sick with some uncurable disease, and it's going to rip right through them, and they're going to die. And they're going to get hit. They're going to get the disease. They got sick on Sunday, and they died on Monday type shit. It's finna get bad, you know? It says, in pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, it says in verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, and I believe this is where we are, man. You know, it's going to continue to intensify. Now, let's go back to YouTube.
Lockdowns that are not similar to what we experienced in America, They're more similar to China welding the doors of everyone's house.
And that's what they did. I don't know if they did it to all of China or certain cities, Hong Kong or whatever. I don't think they did it to everybody. God damn. They motherfuckers were locked in. The government had to bring them food. Sometimes they didn't get any food. They pushing you to that wall, and the relief is going to be that chip. This might be, they might introduce a chip. I doubt it, but they might.
Closed. And coming to pick up the dead later. Now, the 1 to 4 week incubation period that is known with this variation that spreads person to person, if it has symptomatic transmission,
They said it can't be spread person to person. That's what they said.
is a silent spread phase, he said. By the
Unless they do a thing called gain of function, you can look that up.
time the hospital clusters become visible, May 21st of this year, 2 weeks away, you would already see.
And that's mostly what I wanted to get on that video. I don't know if there's anything. I think there's another video that I wanted to bring out. Hold on, not this. Give me a second.
I like this. So, hey, man.
Oh, brothers live. That's beautiful. Get this precept here. Let me see.
But the second, you won't be hearing pretty soon that, oh, damn, we had a couple of fucking passengers that didn't take the cruise back home. They missed it, so they had to fly home. Or got on a train, and it spread.
This is a video just going to another video going to someone speaking about, this pestilences, like pestilence. Going to the hantavirus a little bit.
That motherfucking way. Same way COVID did out there, where some people got on a plane, and all of a sudden it's all over the motherfucking world. I wouldn't be surprised. And like I said, COVID was a test run. And many people started seeing, man, that was fake. They exaggerated. So
And now now looking back at it in hindsight, I can also believe that COVID was a test run to see how they was going to do things and move and how people were going to react. And now they know how they going to react. They done did the research. They got the data. So now when they bring forth this new pandeezy, it's finna be the real one. Shit. I think it's finna do damage. Like actual damage, like people really dying, and people died during the COVID situation too, taking the J and all that extra shit. People actually died, but this is gonna be even more intense, because with the COVID, that was a little run, but like a lot of that shit was overly blown up, and it wasn't really that deep. It wasn't really that serious. But this one might be the one they choose to bring forth the MOTB with and shut everything down with. But like I say, we'll wait and we'll see, and we'll see how this story develops. But I'm gonna let the video play.
guess what? People gonna be loose now. I ain't worried about that. Until, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 40, 50 million motherfuckers start dropping. Nope, I'm finna strap the fuck up. I know I'm gonna look like an eyeball.
And again, the economy, we already know what is happening. The war is not stopping no time soon. It's only going to escalate, and we see the escalation. But I want to remind y'all that there were major early outbreaks that occurred on a cruise ship with C in that number. And it was notably the Diamond Princess. Y'all remember that ship back in February 2020? And it acted as a major spreader as the early pandemic. It was spread it because of that, allegedly. Now, this virus, this hantavirus, it's suspected that, there were 7 cases on this ship. Now, what I'm hearing is that there was one traveler that was exposed in Argentina, and economy is... Oh, how convenient is that? Meanwhile, just...
Yeah, man, and and she's speaking about the economy. Real quick, we can speak on that. Hey, this place is... There is no word for Egypt, man. It's over. So we're going to have to put all our eggs in one basket, and that basket is Yahawashi. Hold on, so let me see. Hold on. So yeah. Okay, I was trying to. The evil days, as far as super evil, it intensifying, people dropping dead left and right, it has not come yet, but it's coming. Scriptures speak about it. Though it's tarry, wait for it. It's coming. It's coming. They're coming. All right. But also, Yahawashi is also coming. All right. So there's a balance. All right. You got the left hand coming down with great wrath, but we got Yahawashi finna knock out. Knock out and deliver us. It says, while the evil days come not, no days thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the moon, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, or the clouds return after the rain. And the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble. The keepers of the house are going into these economists, these people, these economic forecasters, of particular, like Babylon the Great, Japan. They have their particular economic forecasters that look for the well-being and the well-going of their nation. Well, guess what? Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed, and all the nations, all the kings of the earth are not finna be kings anymore. They're just finna be servants. They're finna be under the nation of Israel as servants and handmaids, ultimately slaves. Thus saith the Lord. It says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the ground shall be ceased. Bring this out because we got mass people getting fired. Shit. I speak as I can't. I want to say that, but I don't want to put my business out there, so we ain't gonna say shit. But yeah, people getting fired, people losing their jobs, people getting laid off, people literally. Let me get the priest up here. No, let me get a little video, just real quick. This ain't gonna be just real quick. Spirit.
133 million dollars. 133 million dollars in just 3 days. Never in all my years did I think something like this was possible, but the people actually want to buy Spirit Airlines, and it might actually come to fruition. This guy Hunter started this entire trend, and he said at first it was kind of like a joke, but now it's gained real traction.
Ultimately, my bad. I just brought this out to show that this particular airline, which is mostly, I would say, Jake uses this airline, and this is an airline that has not had any accidents like that. Like, they're a pretty safe airline, pretty affordable airline, but it shut down, and mostly due to the war, because let me see.
Trump endorsed, Trump approved. Barry Moore for
they can't get
U.S.
no oil,
Senate.
they can't get no jet fuel or whatever. I think, and I also think they was in debt. Like, they owed, and they couldn't re-up, so they had to close the whole company.
Guys, this
Right, the grinding is ceasing.
Spirit Airlines
All right.
is ceasing operations.
All right, and I'm just bringing this
after
out.
bailout talks with the White House.
I'm just bringing this one out, because not only is the grinding ceasing for Spirit Airlines or Spirit Airlines. They're gone. There's no more people working there. And now I believe they lost hella people. They lost thousands upon thousands of workers just out of a job now. You know, TSA, all that. Pilots, all that. No more job. You know, gone. And not only is Spirit Airlines fucking going out, you know, business and all that. It's other businesses that maybe not are closing, but are downsizing in their employment force. So people maybe working at Facebook, maybe working at Microsoft or something. I don't know. All these you know, particular places, and you know, even fast food. All these places are downsizing. You know, so it's gonna come to a point where hey, ain't nobody gonna have a job.
Broke down. The low-cost carrier leaving thousands of workers and travelers in a major bind. Chanley Painter has the details. Good morning, Chanley.
Hey, good morning, guys. So earlier today, the company announced it was going out of business and ending its operations immediately, telling passengers to not even go to the airport, saying, quote, "To our guests, all flights have been canceled and customer service is no longer available." Despite the company's efforts, the recent material increase in oil prices and other pressures on the business have significantly impacted Spirit's financial outlook. With no additional funding available to the company, Spirit has had no choice but to begin this wind down. Well, this morning's announcement could impact hundreds of thousands of travelers and reportedly some 17,000 employees. Through the month of May, some 9,000 flights and 60,000 potential passengers are now impacted. Plus, the airline would have had...
All right, and I'm gonna wrap this up. That's all I really wanted to bring out today. But ultimately, not only, like I say, Spirit Airlines, they're gone. Guess what? And they're canceled. They're done. They're finished. Guess what? Babylon the Great, just like Spirit Airlines, they're canceled. Okay, they're finished. They're going to Babylon the Great, aka America's going out of business. All right. So with all that being said, I want to say shalom. To the next video.